But I also do want to talk about Apple TV.
So I didn't know you had to pay for it. I didn't know you had to pay extra for it.
That's why I'm talking about it because so you have to pay for Apple TV. Everyone knows that it's another subscription fee. It's really not worth it except for Ted Lasso, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and that's kind of it.
That they dropped, by the way.
I haven't watched the season at all yet, but but I will. It's the only reason. And then they bring MLS on Apple TV, and I think before that actually happened, it was a lot of negativity, understandably so. And then it started, and then it's like everyone's kind of like, okay, it's cool. And then now I think people are starting to realize like you do have to pay for it, and you don't have access to all the games without paying for it. There's like 2 or 3 free ones. So you do have to pay. It's like $15 a month, which is crazy. I'm not paying $15 a month for unless I mean I might, but like I don't want to because it's annoying.
There's no need. There's really no need.
There's no need. And
I pay for
they have
Peacock
all the
already.
games. Exactly,
Shit.
for the Premier League. And they have all the games on Saturdays. All the games on Saturdays. Meaning, even if you're paying $15, you can't really catch all the games. Because you have to pick like 1 out of the 4 that's happening at that time.
Yep.
So like, what's the point,
Yeah.
Like, you
You're
might
not
as
getting your
well
money's
it.
worth. You're not getting
You're
your
not getting
money's
your money's
worth.
worth.
And you're paying additionally for Apple TV, which I was like, oh, LAFC's playing right now. I'm going to watch the LAFC game because I have an Apple TV subscription. And then it says, oh, you got to pay for it. I was like, what? I'm not going to pay extra to watch the game? That's crazy.
I mean, like, sometimes, like, the games are still shown, like, in Spanish on different channels. And sometimes in English, too. But, like, you're paying $180 a year just to watch 1, maybe 2 games a weekend. Mm-hmm. And then you got it pretty much, unless you want to sit there and watch the rerun.
So
It's a money grab. It's a money grab.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean,
Really
it's
is.
Apple. I mean, come on. We should have saw this coming. It's Apple,
And, like, the thing about it, too, is, like, they're not doing good. Like, their projections, I think they've reached, like, 40% of it. Like, that's so low. Like, that's not good at all. Okay, I have the thing up here. If you want to watch pretty much anything football related, this isn't counting international games. So, MLS is $15. Sorry, MLS Apple Plus standalone, meaning MLS only. You don't even have access to the rest of Apple TV, meaning no Ted Lasso. $15. Paramount Plus $5. Peacock $5. ESPN Plus is $10. So that's what, $35 a month just to watch what you want to watch?
Yeah. Yep.
That's so annoying. And especially for MLS, if you want to grow, it should be, hey, just come watch. Just get the ratings up. That's more money. Just, you're flipping through channels. Oh, LAFC is playing Seattle right now. Let's just throw it on real quick.
It's
Why
like
not?
about the Kings League. It's a free stream you can watch. It's like dog.
Kingsley.
I know. Very, very like completely different type of an example, different league. But it's like it's growing in popularity because it's free to watch. So I'm just saying, the MLS was fine when it was just on Fox Sports. You could catch a game, and your local television station would show your local team. But like now, it's like I guess you can still do that. It's like you can still watch an LAFC, LA Galaxy game, but it's like it's just the money's not worth it. And then if you're like a proper football fan, you already have a Peacock or a Paramount subscription, so it's like there's no point to pay that extra $15 or that whole year.
I think an interesting comparison as well is that we have amazing Premier League coverage. If you have Peacock, you can watch every game.
Better than England.
Even better than England.
And
Yeah.
that's what I'm about to bring up. I remember reading a tweet. Someone said in England how they listed all the streaming subscriptions they have to pay if you want to watch every single Premier League game possible during the weekend. And yet, they still have blackouts as well. So they sometimes can't even, after paying over £100 per month for these subscriptions, or per year, whatever it is. So my point is, like, it's weird because like our own domestic league is I mean, yes, we get all the games, but we have to pay more. But we get insanely good Premier coverage. While over there in England, they're like, I'm jealous of how much we have to pay to get how much access. Like the proportionality of it compared to them is insane. And we just we're kind of lucky in that compared to the
we are
over there.
And if we were sponsored, that would be a great segue to sponsor a VPN service, but we're not. So we're not going to say any VPN service. But if we were, that would have been a great segue.
I feel like okay, the whole point of us having really good Premier League coverage, right, is so that the Premier League can grow in size and stature in a new market, that being the American market, which it has greatly in the past decade, phenomenally. Like there's so many, I see so many Premier League kids walking on my college campus.
Yeah.
I hear people talking about it all the time. People like us, like Americans, making content on it, things like that, right? It's grown tremendously. So why isn't the MLS doing that? If their whole thing is to grow it, why not have the exact same kind of coverage here? Like, what's the point? I understand making money and all that, right? But why not just have the same level of coverage that everyone greatly appreciates and is amazed by and celebrates? It's done really good for the Premier League, for a foreign league. Just do the same thing here. And instead of making us having to pay $15 for what's going on. So, yeah. Apparently, they're very worried about the amount of subscriptions sold, that being 40%. And I wouldn't be surprised if they drop them, to be honest, if like that whole deal gets dropped.
Shit, I would too.
I mean, like if this let's see, I have another tweet here from some LAFC fan account, but in my opinion, he's right. This person, I mean, not right, but a little closer to what we're saying. But he said, we don't mind paying CMLS games, but when they're all in a 5-hour window in one day, it decreases our enjoyment throughout the week. And frequency creates consumer value. This is more fan disconnect, and it feels like we pay for one evening per week worth of entertainment. Entirely true. Entirely true. And then this other person says, technical manager on Twitter says, if it gets to a point where Apple drops MLS, the league would have to revise its entire business model, structure, and product. The damage that will be done to the league by Apple opting out can be somewhat catastrophic for soccer in this country. And that's totally true. And that's MLS's fault for putting themselves in this position. I don't understand what they expected. Like, there's no way you expected 60% more people to pay for this.
Yeah.
In a country where we're exceedingly having to pay more over time for things that we've had to pay less for historically, even in the recent weeks, months, years, whatever, we're not going to want to pay $15 extra. That's a premium.
Yeah.
That's a extra that we don't have to pay. I'm not paying that. I'm paying for college tuition.
Yep.
I'm paying $15, Stupid. It's lame. It's almost brings MLS back a little bit. It kind of limits expansion. Because if we had to pay $15 to watch the Premier League, if it was hidden behind some wall, some paywall, something, we wouldn't be sitting here right now talking about it.
I would pay that.
Well,
probably.
I would pay it, but I think less people would in America.
Less people
the
would
market
paying
would
it.
not be
Yeah.
that good. Yeah, exactly.
Agreed.
Yeah. Oh, silly MLS.
I mean,
Silly
when are they never not? Let's be real. Like, they're never not silly. They're
We
just
keep being
monkeys.
silly because it gives us views. It keeps us,
It gives us
gives
views.
engagement.
Yeah,
Keep being
you know what?
silly.
Yeah, you're right. Very silly.
Just kidding. I want them to be a league taken seriously by the world because that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an MLS fan, as an LAFC fan, as an American USMNT fan, I want that to happen. It's not going to happen with how it's going right now.